Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Coffee Talk. I appreciate you coming back and hanging out with us. I hope you have a nice hot cup of Joe. So, I want to challenge you guys today to go out and change the world. You might think, well, this dude's crazy. Well, yeah, I am. But that's okay. Yeah, I'm crazy in a good way. I think you could change the world, and I think you could do it if you do two simple little things. So hang in there and I'm going to show it all to you. I first want to show you my iPad. So I've actually had this iPad since Christmas. It's like the first time I used it. And the last time I was here, I had my notes on paper, right? And that's all well and good, but I can tell you I'm really liking this iPad, right? So I guess I'm moving up in the world. I've had it since Christmas. I got to admit, I've been a little intimidated to use it. I don't even know hardly how to use my cell phone, right? So this is like a cell phone on steroids. So for me, it's kind of hard to use, trying to figure out accessories, widgets, programs, all this stuff. It drives me crazy, to say the least. It drives me crazy. And if I didn't have my kids, I'd be totally lost because they get me out of a pickle all the time. And especially my son, he's just like one of these, I don't know, I think he has a computer in his brain and he's just really good at it. So, but I bring that up to say I have to change, right? And I've had to change to learn how to use some of these electronics because I'm an older guy. And you young people out there, it just comes natural. Us older people, we have to really work hard to make it happen, right? So that's what I try to do. And when I think about the change and I challenge you guys, okay, well, look, you got to change the world, right? It's time to go out and make a difference. And it's so simple. It's so easy that it's kind of unbelievable. And I'm going to tell you there's two ways we can do that. So kindness is one and respect is the other. And if you're thinking, yeah, right. Okay, well, hear me out. So I looked up a couple things. So I Googled what is the result of kindness? How does that impact people, right? And here's what it came up with, and I was actually pretty amazed by the results of this search. So being kind or performing intentional benevolent acts significantly improves physical and mental health by reducing stress, by lowering blood pressure, and boosting mood enhancing chemicals like oxytocin, serotonin, and dopamine. Go figure. It fosters social connection, reduces anxiety and depression, increases self-esteem, and can even lead to a longer, healthier life. How about that? So, would it be a bad thing to just be nice to somebody? To say hi, to give them a smile? When I go on in that little study, it talks about the physiological benefits. So, acts of kindness trigger the release of feel-good chemicals, which I'm not going to go through the whole thing because I just read it. There's a mental health improvement. There's physical health and longevity. There's a social connection and pro-social behavior. Pro-social. How many anti-social people do we have in society right now? Think about it. And you also get an immune system boost. So that's pretty powerful stuff. And how can you do it? How to practice kindness? Well, you can do small, consistent acts. So you could hold doors, you could pay a compliment, or helping with daily tasks. They make a significant difference. You can volunteer. People who volunteer for multiple organizations have a significantly lower likelihood of dying early. Wow. Self-kindness. Practicing self-compassion, such as positive self-talk, or recognizing your own achievement also improves overall well-being. How many times do you beat yourself up because you did something stupid? Or you made a mistake? Or you didn't measure up? Maybe someone told you they didn't think you could do something and you screwed it up and you just verified what they were saying to you and beat yourself down. Well, I want to encourage you, stop doing that. Be nice to yourself. Just be nice to yourself. And if you screw up, then just do the next right thing. You will be okay every single time if you will just do the next right thing. Even when you're dealing with mean people, and let me tell you, all of us knows, everybody knows mean people suck. They just suck. But we can still choose to be nice. So the other half of changing the world is going to be showing respect to someone, right? Respect is a big deal, especially with men. The Bible tells us that men need to be respected by their wives, but wives need to be loved by their husbands. So respect is a big deal for guys. So here's what happens when you show respect to someone. So showing respect to others, it fosters trust, safety, and well-being, leading to stronger, more collaborative, and longer-lasting relationships. It reduces stress and conflict while improving communication and boosting morale in both personal and professional environments. Furthermore, respect often creates a reciprocal positive cycle. So think about that. So if I tell you go out and change the world and I say it's that easy and you're like, this guy's crazy, is this guy really crazy? Because I don't think so. I don't think I'm crazy at all. I think that you can choose to be nice to somebody, even if the person sucks, even if they're mean. It's not like you're going to take them home and have dinner with them. It's not like you're going to the movies. But when you interact with someone, you can choose to be nice. You can choose to stand there and hold the door. You can choose to smile. You know, I was on my way home the other night, and I'm out of Florida, so I'm based out of Florida in case anybody's curious. And I stopped in this Circle K. So Circle K is huge down south, and I go into Circle K Market and I walk in and there's this huge line of people and I'm like, oh my gosh. But I'm waiting in line and I just watch. I always like watching people. There's two clerks at the counter and they're going through. And there's this one guy that is just smiling and being nice to everybody. And I was fortunate enough to have him wait on me. And I get to the counter and I'm paying for my stuff. And he says, so you got any plans tonight? And I'm like, and he smiles. It's just like this genuine question, right? It wasn't a bunch of BS. He's just being nice. And I says, yeah. I said, I'm going to hang out with my family. He goes, oh man, that's awesome. He goes, I'm really happy to hear that. And I was like, oh, thanks, dude. So I pay for my stuff and I'm leaving. And as I go to walk away, he goes, hey man, he goes, you're really lucky to have a family. And do you know what? That made my day. That made my day. And that was a simple act of kindness. And just think, if you could do just little acts of kindness on a daily basis, if you could just show people respect, that in itself is going to be changing our world. And when we show respect to people, it makes people want to do that for other people. And it's okay to say hey, go out and be nice to someone. Be respectful today as you're going to work. You know, like when you're driving down the road and someone cuts you off, maybe you could wave at them instead of salute them, right? That would be a nice change. Maybe less people would get hurt on the road. Or maybe when you go into a store, you could treat the clerk with respect. You know, I'll be honest with you. I go into some stores and I'm like, some of these people behind the counter, if they worked for me, I would fire them in a New York second, right? Because they have no business being there. But that doesn't mean we can't be nice. It doesn't mean we can't show respect to them and then we move on. Why do we want to ruin their day? Some people just aren't that smart. Some people were raised with really bad manners. Some people had horrible parents. It's just reality. But when we do that stuff, we can help people to start learning that, you know what, you can choose another path. But I will tell you this, if we're going to change the world around us, it has to start with us, right? Change, revival, it starts in our hearts and it goes out from us. So if you want to do that, you really have to take an inventory of who you are, what you are, and really, who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? I find it really interesting in life. Like if you ever go in a cemetery, right? You've got, Billy was born on this day, and then you got a dash, and they died on this day, right? And so you got born on big letters, you got died on big letters, and then you got this little tiny dash in the middle. Do you know that the entirety of your life is summed up in that little dash? Do you realize that? Who cares when you were born? Who cares when you died? It's what did you do in between? And so when I talk about changing the world, I think that we can be nice. I think it starts with us. And I think that through just basic human kindness, showing basic respect to people, that's in itself will change our world. And to give you one last thing to think about before you go, is the Bible tells us that we should do unto others as we would have them do unto us. It doesn't say treat others the way they treat you. It doesn't say that. It says that we should do unto others as we would have them do unto us. Sometimes we walk out of a meeting at work and all of a sudden we're pissed off because we got our butt chewed out because we screwed something up, and then we walk into Starbucks. And what did we just do to that poor clerk that didn't deserve that? Or we walk into McDonald's or Applebee's or, the Office Depot or 7-Eleven, you name it, whatever. Stop it. Just stop it. Be nice. Just be nice. So that's all I got for you today, guys. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you on the next Coffee Talk.